You got it.
Or the Mike Nazi will come up and get you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the December 4, 2024 City of Fraser Regular Planning Commission meeting. Please place any cell phones or any other devices that might disrupt this meeting in silent mode or turn them off. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item 2 is a roll call. Ms. Greenia, would you please do the roll call?
Commissioner Barr,
Here.
Chair Zarnicki,
Present.
Commissioner Brina,
Here.
Commissioner Kyle,
Present.
Commissioner Meyer, Commissioner Tuller,
Here.
Commissioner Warner.
Here.
We have a quorum present. Commissioner Meyer did call me this morning and asked to be excused from tonight's meeting because of an illness. So I will make a motion to excuse Commissioner Meyer.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved by the chair and support by Commissioner Kyle to excuse Commissioner Meyer from tonight's meeting because of an illness. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Agenda item 3, approval of the agenda.
Support.
Okay, I'm going to ask discussion. I'm going to ask a question of the attorney. Can we discuss item number 7A and 7B combined?
Yeah,
Because I know they're intertwined and the discussion's going to carry over from the special land use to the site plan, so it's okay to combine them.
yeah.
And I will open up the public hearing at the appropriate time, I guess, anytime within that discussion.
Yeah, I think that that's appropriate. Like you mentioned, they're all related, so I think having them together be called first, and then having the discussion and then opening the public hearing after that makes total sense.
Okay, thank you. So can I have a motion to approve the agenda as revised if we have the discussion together? And
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Kyle to revise the agenda to discuss items 7A and B collectively. Would you do a roll call, please, Ms. Greenia?
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Chair Zarnicki,
Yes.
Commissioner Brina,
Yep.
Commissioner Kyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Agenda item 4 is a chairperson opening remark. Tonight's meeting will follow the agenda that was posted online and has been printed and or revised this evening and is available at the entrance to the room. It is important to let everyone know that the Planning Commission is created by state law. The commission is comprised of 7 members, all of whom have been volunteered to serve. Members are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by City Council. The role of the Planning Commission is to plan and promote the efficient, coordinated development of the city for the health, safety, and general welfare of its residents. We are not here to negotiate with applicants or allow everything an applicant is requesting. The Planning Commission does have the power to approve certain requests and recommend others depending on the nature of the requests and whether all of the standards of the zoning ordinance have been met. The Planning Commission may also impose conditions on a proposed project in order to ensure that those standards are met. Other individuals seated here this evening are the city's legal representative from O'Reilly Rensselaer, Alisa Erickson, and the city's planner from McKenna & Associates, Lauren Sayre, and Deputy City Clerk Cindy Greenia. The procedure followed by the Planning Commission for public hearings is the city planner will at first provide an overview of each case. After the overview is completed, the applicant will be asked to provide any additional information and answer any questions the commission members might have. The commissioner's questions, the public will be invited to speak. Each person will have one opportunity to speak. One must speak only directly to that specific case and must only address the commission, not the applicant or anyone else in attendance. If you have questions, please direct them to the commission, and we may ask for answers to your questions if they are relevant to the factors we are required to consider. After the public has had the opportunity to speak, commission members may again ask questions of the applicant, and then the commission will deliberate and consider a motion. Agenda item number 5 is the approval of the minutes, November 6, 2024. I did ask Ms. Greenia to make 2 revisions to the minutes. One was on page 3, the person who spoke regarding the driveway expansion, I wanted his name to be included in the address, which is Douglas Brucantis, 15767 Kingston. And the other item I asked to be changed is to add a signature page, who prepared the minutes. Those are very insignificant. Commissioner Farina, do you have any more corrections?
Under Commissioner's comments, I want to strike Mr. Kyle's comments out of there, because I think they were mumbling at the time.
Yeah.
You need a little mic.
Would you repeat that, Commissioner Farina, please?
No.
Would you like for me to repeat? You can repeat it, please.
I want to strike Mr. Kyle's proposed announcement, because there were ramblings in there. And I don't think it was clear of his intention, and I don't think that was his intent, so I don't think it should be in the minutes.
Okay. Any other corrections, revisions, or discussion on the minutes? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve as revised.
Motion to approve as revised.
Support?
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Teller and support by Commissioner Kyle to approve the November 6, 2024 minutes as revised. Would you do a roll call, please, Ms. Greenia?
Commissioner Barr?
Yes.
Chair Zarnicki?
Yes.
Commissioner Farina?
Yes.
Commissioner Kyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Teller?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 6, new business A, other 2025 meeting calendar. Has everyone reviewed the proposed dates? Any discussion on the proposed dates?
July.
January 1?
Yeah. What's,
Let's move it to January 8.
and that's clear though that day, because didn't it always end up being a Monday?
Yeah, that's not our alternate date.
Chair Zarnicki, if I may.
Yes,
Your alternate date for the third Monday in January is actually Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is a federal holiday, so that's why it was recommended the 8th. Although, may I recommend the second Monday, the 13th, because the 8th would actually, the packet deadline probably would not be able to be met, as it's the New Year and the New Year's Eve. So that would be hard for my office to complete that, as we all have that off.
So January 8 is a good date.
13th is the second Monday, if that works with the commission. But if not,
But it's still Martin Luther King Day, that doesn't change.
no, it's the 20th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm okay with the 13th.
The 13th. We're making it January 13th.
Sounds good.
All okay with January 13th?
Yep.
Okay, the other 2 dates I thought were just consideration, July 2nd, is that too close to,
Yes.
do we want to change that?
Because all the automotive companies are shut down those 2 weeks. And we typically move it with the alternate date, because.
Which would be the 21st.
It's the third Monday? Is that what it is, the third
The
Monday?
21st, yes, correct.
21st. July 21? Is that a good date?
Looks good.
July 21?
July 21.
We haven't voted on it yet, but we're thinking of changing July 2 to July 21?
July. No, January's is still the 13th now.
Oh, January is the 13th. Okay, now we're into July.
So July would be the, what'd you say? 21st. 21st.
And the other date would be September 3. Is it too close to Labor Day?
Is Labor Day the 1st?
It is the first, yep.
Yeah, yes.
I think
I think
that's
that's it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know, but everybody.
Kids got to go back to school, everybody's going to be home.
cool.
We don't all have to be present.
Well, no,
You're okay with that, too?
oh yeah, I'm fine with September 3rd.
Okay, so I think all the proposed dates are okay, except for January and July, so we're changing January 1 to January 13, July 2 to July 21. Is that, am I correct?
Yep.
Okay, so I entertain a motion to approve the proposed dates for 2025.
I'll make make a motion to approve the dates for 2025 as we talked about.
As revised? Okay. And
Second.
Support? Okay, moved by Commissioner Kyle and support by Commissioner Tuller to accept the date, proposed dates as revised. All those, well, no, let's do a roll call. Thank you.
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Chair Zarki,
Yes.
Commissioner Frieda,
Yep.
Commissioner Kyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. We will go to agenda item number 7, unfinished business, public hearing, special land use 24-02, 34625 Utica Road, Mr. Car Wash, and agenda item 7B, site plan, special land use, site plan 24-04, and special land use 24-02, 34625 Utica Road, Mr. Car Wash. Ms. Sierra.
Thank you, Chair Zarnicki. So this proposed car wash site is located at 34625 Utica Road and also includes part of the Meyer site, which is 34835 Utica Road. And the request is to construct and open a automatic car wash with outside vacuums, exterior vacuum stalls, and the exterior vacuum stalls would be considered an open-air business requiring special land use, which is why that is being requested tonight. So in reviewing the site plan, the first concern that we would have is with the proposed lot. So let me site plan up. So the proposed lot includes 17 parcels of the Meyer parking lot. So planning noted that they would have to get a cross-access parking agreement with Meyer to be able to use those, but in discussion with the city attorney, we feel that they would have to get the variance amended and the site plan approval that they originally got previously approved to reflect that change or change the parcel line, as the variance was recorded with the Meyer site itself, and so that would have to reflect in that to be recorded against the property. The applicant is aware of that, but that is something that shouldn't hinder their potential site plan approval tonight, but just something to note that would have to be approved with the lot split. So that would be something we'd follow up with on the lot split. Let me try to fix that.
So it's a lot split, not a combination. It's a split from Meyer,
Well, it needs to be split and then combined.
and then combined. Okay.
So in that process, they would have to go back to amend that variance and site plan approval, because that's how they were allowed that parking reduction.
Okay.
We also believe that they still need to identify adequate loading space. The applicant provided commentary that they did not need one because of lack of receipt or distribution of vehicles and materials, but we do believe that there is receipt of materials to operate a car wash, and therefore a loading space must be specified, and that side loading would need to be approved by Planning Commission. Additionally, in terms of architecture and building materials, Planning Commission needs to decide if the ephes would be acceptable. Otherwise, it's mostly stone. And then a compliant photometric plan must be obtained, or a variance must be achieved. They are on tomorrow's agenda to seek a variance for the illumination levels to exceed what the ordinance specifies is the maximum amount. We'll note that public safety identified no concern, and engineering provided a review which is attached, and that the lots have not been split or combined yet, but that is an administrative process. So in regards to the site plan, we recommended conditional approval conditioned upon the necessary lot splits and combinations are administratively achieved. cross-access easement agreement, the applicant might be able to discuss better what their plans are with this information. But a variance for the lighting to exceed the maximum illuminations must be obtained, or a compliant photometric plan must be submitted. The EFS must be approved by Planning Commission. I apologize, I missed a tree. There's also a missing landscape frontage tree, they're deficient by one tree. That must also be provided, and then the loading space and potentially side loading must be approved by Planning Commission. So moving into the special land use, again, the special land use is just for the vacuum stalls, outside vacuums, not the car wash itself. In reviewing that against the 8 standards of special land use, so the first one of the location should not be of such size or character that it will be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the surrounding neighborhood. The applicant has specified that with the exception of the exterior vacuum stalls, the proposed car wash is permitted, and that it's in a commercial area on a major thoroughfare. We agree that it is consistent with nearby development, and there are many auto-centric uses in the vicinity, including the auto parts store and several drive-through businesses. Regarding that it will make vehicular or pedestrian traffic no more hazardous than normal. Again, we do not anticipate that this use will make vehicular or pedestrian traffic more hazardous than normal for this location. Regarding the size, intensity, location, site layout, and periods of operation, and if they would cause any potential nuisance. The applicant specified that the hours of operation will be consistent with surrounding commercial users. The site layout and screening are designed to minimize the disruption of adjoining properties. Lighting and noise will adhere to the Fraser ordinance and will be consistent with general nature. We do note that there's no proposed screening for the outside vacuum areas, and the proposed height was provided by the applicant of 11 feet 10 inches, which is less than the building height. Proposed hours are from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and we note that the noise levels may be disruptive, but Utica Road in general is a fairly loud thoroughfare, so it's likely not going to be more disruptive than the ambient noise. The fourth item, that the proposed use shall be such in a location and height of buildings or structures that will not interfere or discourage the appropriate development. Again, we do not believe that the use will negatively impact property values or discourage appropriate development. I apologize, there was a carryover from my first review. We do know the height, it's 11 feet, 10 inches. And it's consistent in that it is lower than the required building height in this commercial general district. The fifth item, that it will relate harmoniously with the physical and economic aspects. Again, we believe that it is consistent with nearby development. There's many auto-centric uses. Location would likely serve the Meyer site, and it's on one of Fraser's main commercial corridors. Sixth item, that it's necessary for the public convenience and proposed location. Again, we find that it may be necessary for the public convenience of the proposed location. While there are other car washes along Utica, there are no vacuums associated with them, so it could be considered necessary. Seventh item, that the proposed use is designated, located, and planned to be operated, that the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. Again, we believe that it's substantially protected, that the layout accommodates pedestrian and vehicular circulation. We do not believe that the proposed use would alter this. And then finally, that the proposed use shall not cause substantial injury or to the value of other property in the neighborhood. And again, we do not believe that it would cause any substantial injury to the value of other properties or be detrimental to other existing or permitted uses in the district. So that being said, our recommendation is that we believe that the criteria has been met. So as long as Planning Commission's also satisfied that that is met, we would recommend approving the special land use for the outdoor vacuums.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sarah. I just want clarification. So the height of the vacuums they do meet zoning ordinance requirements?
They are less than 35 feet, yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Kyle.
The side loading, I didn't know what you meant by that.
So loading spaces are required to be in the rear yard. And there is a provision in the ordinance that says that Planning Commission can approve side yard loading, though. So for this, the rear would be kind of backing up to that Meyer parking.
Any other questions for the planning consultant? No? Okay. Would the applicant or applicants like to come forward, please? Thank you. Would you both identify yourself and your relationship to the application, please?
Good evening. My name is Joseph Paluzzi. I'm with Veris Development Group, and we are the developers for the proposed Mr. Car Wash that's before you this evening. We've been before you in the past. This has been quite the road, but we're happy to be in front of you this evening. And I brought this evening. Apologize. Do I need to repeat, or?
Repeat your name, Mr.
So,
Paluzzi, please.
my name is Joseph Paluzzi with Veris Development Group. And this evening, we have Mr. Chris Campbell with Mr. Car Wash. So between the two of us, we feel confident that any questions that you may have in regard to the briefing that was just done and any other potential questions you may have, we're here to answer.
Okay, thank you. Did you have anything you wanted to add to the presentation, Mr. Campbell?
Yep, I would. So again, good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Chris Campbell with Mr. Car Wash. I wanted to take a few minutes just to kind of introduce our brand. We are relatively new to the Detroit metro area, although we have been in Michigan for quite a number of years. Currently, Mr. Car Wash is the largest operator of express tunnel car washes in the country. We're a publicly traded company, and we have over 500 stores. In fact, we opened our 505th store last week. As I mentioned, we've got 31 stores in Michigan with another 18 under development. Those are primarily here in the Detroit metro area. One of the things that Mr. Car Wash kind of prides ourselves on is our sustainability efforts. And one of the ways that we do that is through reclamation and recycling of the water that we use. That's the largest resource that we use in our business. And so we do that, or we reclaim and reuse that water by installing a series of 3 settlement tanks within the parking area. All of our wastewater from the wash process, not restrooms and offices and things like that, but from the wash process, runs through those settlement tanks, and we draw water strategically from various tanks for different operations within the car wash. By doing that, that allows us to reuse about 50% of the water within that wash process, which is industry leaders as far as that goes. We also work on other sustainability efforts through things like air gates on our blowers at the tunnel exits. So when a vehicle isn't there, it shuts off and it's not pulling air through. That allows the motor to move at a lower rate, which saves energy. And we're always continuing to try to find opportunities to save energy, whether it be electricity, gas usage, water, etc. I wanted to just take a moment to walk you through the site plan so you can understand how folks would navigate the site. So Utica Road is off to the plan right there. You would come into the center along the north and then access the 4 drive lanes there. Those drive lanes will take you to the point of sale. Actually, since I'm connected, I can do this. So you'd enter off of Utica, come across the top of the site into these pay station drive lanes. You'll come up to the pay station where we have both retail customer lanes and Unlimited Wash Club lanes. Unlimited Wash Club is our membership program, so it allows customers to pay a monthly fee, and you can wash your vehicle as often as you like at any Mr. Car Wash location. When you become an Unlimited Wash Club member, you're given an RFID sticker, which goes on the windshield. So when you pull up to one of those one of those Unlimited Wash Club lanes, the gate reads that sticker and automatically opens for you. You continue through the POS lane. We offer a bailout lane here. So if for some reason your vehicle's too large, you decide not to get a wash, something happens, there is an escape lane. You can get out there. But most customers obviously aren't doing that, so they're going to continue on forward where a customer service agent will guide you onto the conveyor. Many of you may be familiar with express washes. Some people aren't. This is a conveyorized system. So there's a conveyor that runs through the entire wash. You pull onto that, and there's a catch, basically, that comes up behind your wheel and pushes you through the wash. So unlike an in-bay automatic where you pull the vehicle in and the wash moves around you, we're moving the vehicle through the wash. That allows us to wash 4, 5, 6 vehicles, depending on how close we get them at a time. And so that means that this line here of customers waiting, generally, it's a constantly moving line because we're continuing to pull people into the wash. Once you exit the wash, you'll come through to our vacuum stalls. These are self-service free vacuums. Anyone can use them. You pull into the stall, you can vacuum your vehicle. If you choose not to do that, you continue through the site, and then you can exit either left over towards Meyer or some of the other businesses within the center, Starbucks, Taco Bell, what have you, or you can make a right back out onto Utica. Just a couple elevations of the building. We have upgraded our typical materials to more stone and brick to meet city ordinances. And you'll notice that this is four-sided architecture. Again, high-quality materials. There was a comment in the staff report about the use of EFS and the Planning Commission needing to approve that. I just wanted to point out, the EFS is very slight. It's just in these these 3 red areas. The totality of the EFS is 300 square feet, which against the entire finish is only 2.8%. So it's a very small amount of surface area for that EFS. And then I also wanted to address the off-street loading. So I've highlighted there, this is direct from your code. Off-street loading is required for businesses that have receipt or distribution of vehicles, materials, or merchandise. While it is true that we have some deliveries, we believe in the frequency of those deliveries is so small that it doesn't warrant a dedicated space. So as an example, you can see on the screen, we get a chemistry delivery, which is the chemistry that we use to wash the vehicles. That comes once a month in a box truck. The only other deliveries that we receive are kind of sporadic, ancillary, maybe an office supply delivery, a FedEx delivery, Amazon, things that show up at any business, with no particular kind of cadence or anything like that. So we would ask that that requirement be waived. As for the other requirements that staff has recommended, we're fine with those. We don't have any problems with adding that additional tree. We obviously understand that the lot split and combo need to occur. With respect to the parking, I'll go back to my site plan here. So this was just, I think, an error that happened as we were going through this. We just missed it. The initial variance and site plan amendment that went through should have had the property line extend down further to encompass this last row of parking stalls. We had always intended to keep those stalls for Meyer's use. As you can see from our site plan, we're not designing to use them at all. So it's really just the technical aspect where we need to either go back and get a building setback variance. If we move the property line up along this curb, then we won't meet the building setback. So I think that might be the first path that we try down to see if we can get that approval, and with the fallback of coming back to see you to amend that site plan and then get the variance again. And then as Joe said, we're here for any questions, and we also have our civil engineer here as well.
Commissioners, any questions for the applicants?
No, it looks like a nice place.
On the delivery thing, it's really just usually, the chemicals are probably just the biggest as a drum, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, so we use 15-gallon carboys. That's what's delivered, and then they bring them into the, so our mechanical room. This whole area right here is our mechanical room.
Yeah.
So they'll bring them down here through this double set of doors, and then store them in the mechanical room.
Probably just with a hand truck
Yep,
or something.
exactly.
Because I was wondering if you could even go right through because since it goes along that wall, could they have come through the process even but those vehicles are big or?
Yeah, we have, this POS canopy is really the constraining factor. The width of this is 9.5 feet. The height is, I think about 13 feet. So it could probably get something through, but I wouldn't want to do it.
But we don't have a designated loading
No.
area there, though. Is there a way to configure that a little differently to cover at least that there's a spot that they can back into or whatever?
So, as I was looking at this and trying to figure out, okay, how could I do this? The only thing that I could potentially think of is I could maybe hatch out kind of an area here. But my concern with that is now I'm blocking the
Right.
primary exit for all of my customers that leave the tunnel.
I'm sorry, would you re-show it? I was looking
Yep.
at you and not the.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I was thinking somewhere right around here. But it's really,
The only way is after hours or something.
right, and
Then you got to take special deliveries, like have somebody there.
Right, and I really think
tough.
because those deliveries, certainly for, I would even say for the chemistry deliveries, because they're so frequent, I could mark an area and then put a sign up, and they're still not going to use it. They're there for 15 minutes, dropping stuff off and getting out. So they're going to park wherever is convenient for them.
Is this a standard number now for the vacuum systems, that there's that many?
This is not. This is actually light.
It's light. I know,
Our
I've seen
goal
some of
is-
them, they're just gigantic with
Yeah,
vacuum
our goal
systems.
is 20 to 25. That's
Wow.
yeah. It's kind of like I describe it like a church on Easter Sunday. You go to church on a typical weekend, and there's a ton of leftover parking. You go to church on Easter Sunday or Christmas Eve, and you can't find a spot to park. And for our business, because it's a membership business, it's really important that we have enough vacuums available, because if a customer comes in and, as part of their experience, they want to vacuum the vehicle and they can't, they'll accept that once, twice, the third time it happens, forget it. I'm going to go find somebody else who has enough vacuums that can accommodate me.
I've just never seen them completely full at any of the places.
But that's part of the reason why, is because we want to make sure that any customer that wants to be able to use it has one available.
I know in the old days, half of them never worked.
Our-
These are completely different nowadays.
Yeah, and especially for us, because again, as the largest operator of car washes, these are all corporately owned. These are not franchises. These are not, it's our employees. It's the Mr. employees. So we have regional maintenance technicians who oversee 2 to 3 stores at a time, meaning they're touching this store every other day. Our equipment has an uptime of about 98.5%. We have a warehouse in Tucson that manufactures a lot of the components of the wash system specifically for us. So it's an amazing company, the things that they can do, and again, the fact that a lot of the other competitive car wash companies out there, they may buy their base equipment from the same people that we do, but when their equipment breaks down, they've got to call that manufacturer and say, hey, I need you to come out because my wraps aren't working. I call my own employee who's got a truck and he's just down the street, and he's there same day getting it fixed. So that sets us apart as well.
And how many employees do you usually have working?
So at any one time, we have 3 to 4 is typical. We'll usually staff a store with about 15 total employees, not obviously at one time, but kind of total payroll. Our goal is you always have somebody out at the point of sale station. You'll always have somebody inside the tunnel guiding people on, and you'll always have somebody kind of walking the parking lot, assisting customers, picking up the lot, making sure it's clean, things like that.
So enough parking for them, for the employees, and I'll just bring it up before Kathy forgets.
No, there's no bicycles. You're getting your car washed.
I know, but you got employees that might
for
come to
bicycles.
work.
Okay.
Well, the only reason is because I thought she'd bring it up already.
No, I didn't.
So I'm just going to bring it up right now, though. Is there a spot you could have maybe for a bike rack or something?
Yeah, I'm happy to put one in.
I'm just saying because employees nowadays,
And they
some
will
are
be
cut
local.
pinch and pennies, and they live right down,
Yep, yeah,
you're hoping to get the local
we're-
people.
Yeah, we're hiring from, people within the community here. So, yeah.
I think it's
I'm
a good
happy
idea.
Happy to add a bike rack in.
Okay.
Thank you,
Do
Commissioner.
we want to just talk just about special things at a time first? Because I got a few other items, but they're basically,
Why don't we let Commissioner Farina, and
Yeah.
then we'll come back to you? Okay, Commissioner Farina?
Can you go back to the slide about the water usage?
Yeah.
How much water do you use to wash a car?
So we use about 40 to 45 gallons per vehicle, and half of that is reclaimed,
So you use 20 gallons per
approximately.
approximately. How many cars on average do you do a day?
That's really going to be store and market dependent. We typically will do a pro forma at about 4,000, or not 4,000, I'm sorry, man, that'd be a hell of a store. 400 a day.
So let's say you do 300 times 20, that's an extra 6,000 gallons of water that you're dumping?
I'll have to trust your math. I'm not,
50%.
Yeah. No, I did
no,
the
because
50.
he did the 50%. Yeah, so about 6,000.
Now, is that go into storm sewer, or does that go into
Sanitary.
sanitary?
Sanitary.
Okay.
Yep.
And our engineers say that there's enough sewer?
Capacity, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a nice 12-inch main.
Lauren, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe he just mentioned that the sewer line will need to be extended out to the property, but that's possible to do that.
How many gallons do I use when I wash my car in my driveway?
It's an interesting question. There's industry data that says you'll use up to 100 gallons to wash your car. It's a lot more, and really it's less the gallons that you're using. It's the chemicals that you're using on your vehicle are now going into your stormwater system, which are hitting your lakes and your rivers and your aquifers and things like that.
Right.
Where for us, that's all going into the sanitary system. It's being processed. It's being cleaned and
Right, so it's cleaner.
It's better for the environment.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Farina, were you finished?
Yeah, no. One other question. Where are you going to dump your snow?
So let's go to the site plan here. So we do have a fair amount of landscape area right around here. We've got a little bit of space kind of back over around here, this middle area, and if we have to, we'll truck it off-site.
Okay. Commissioner Teller, you have any questions?
Not so far.
Okay. Can you tell me how you might mitigate the noise?
Yeah, so a lot of that is a number of things. First, it starts with the overall site design. The two noisiest areas of the car wash are at the tunnel exit and the vacuum producer. So in this particular site, the tunnel exit is very close to Utica Road, and the vacuum producer is also close to Utica Road.
So they're not internal within the building?
They are not.
There are some car washes that do it internal.
Yeah, so our vacuum producer goes into an 8-foot CMU enclosure. So it's four-sided, fully enclosed. I don't know I can tell you that anecdotally, you and I could go stand next to one of those producers, and we could have a conversation with no issue. You really, once you get that 8-foot high, the producers themselves are about 6 foot, so we've got a little bit of extra clearance there, but those enclosures do a really good job of maintaining that noise. But more importantly, because of, again, the layout of this and putting this close to Utica, as Lauren had mentioned, Utica itself just has a large or a high volume of noise in and of itself.
Right.
So the car wash will have probably very little impact on that side of the site. A couple of other things that we do. So for that vacuum producer, we install a muffler on all of our
So you
sites.
install what?
A muffler.
A muffler?
Yep, to help reduce that sound.
Okay.
And then, as I mentioned earlier, on those blowers in the tunnel, we install what's called an air gate. And so it basically is a gate that just kind of shifts back and forth. And so as a vehicle approaches down the line, the equipment senses that it's there, it opens the blower, that allows air to come through, the motor ramps up, and that's where you get the noise. Well, when there's not a vehicle there, we don't need to be pulling air through and creating noise, so we close the gate, the motor still spins, but you don't hear it because it's not pushing air through.
Okay,
That's another way that we help reduce the sound.
okay, thank you. Can you, would you please tell me why you're seeking a variance on the lighting?
Yeah, so your lighting standard actually it's a very challenging standard. You know, you have limits of, I believe it's 4-foot candles in the parking areas, 5-foot candles on the sidewalks. To be quite frank, you know, the areas on our site, you know, at these vacuum arches, we have lighting on all of those arches because we want our customers to be able to see what they're doing. You know, they're vacuuming out their vehicle, they're getting in there. Many of them are drying the vehicles off if they, you know, because there's always some residual water. And we want them to be able to see that. So we put that lighting on there. That lighting creates areas upwards of 10 to 12-foot candles, especially where it kind of crosses, which exceeds your standards. Areas under the POS canopy, as an example, we have downlights. That's, I think we're at just under 30-foot candles there. And so what we're trying to do is create a bright, safe site for customers because you're mixing people who are in the parking areas performing a task with vehicles that are moving throughout the site. So it's not like a gas station where I pull in, I'm standing right next to my vehicle, get back into my car and I pull away. So those are just some of the reasons that we're looking for that. Again, overall safety and
Or a safety concern?
it's safety and it's kind of the convenience for the customer.
And I think I read also at the pay station, is that going to be well?
At the pay station, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And the other thing to note with our lighting, and I know we'll discuss it with the zoning board tomorrow, I think Commissioner Farina mentioned he's on that. Half the year, it's light till 8, 9 o'clock. You know, we close our business down by 8 o'clock at the latest. So for about half the year, the lights won't even be on. And then the other half of the year, when they are on, they're still being shut off by 8 o'clock at night. So
Okay.
they're not going late into the evening by any means.
If you do not receive the variance, how will you proceed then?
It's a good question. I've asked that question internally. We have to talk with our operations team to see if we would be comfortable operating the site at the limits that the town or that the city sets. There is a possibility that we would say, no, we're not comfortable with that. It's not safe for our customers. We can't do this project.
Okay, so it would fail the development. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Warnick, you go ahead
Yeah.
and then I'll call on Commissioner Farina.
Okay, that's a good question, though, maybe for Lauren then. When they develop these guidelines, I'm sure the lighting is covered for the whole night, right? Because of constant, do they take into consideration, like, being only 3 hours of that lighting, being only open till 8?
Our zoning ordinance doesn't currently address any like hours of operation or anything like that. It's just a maximum illumination in various areas. So it specifies like driveway areas, parking areas, walks, things like that.
So it seems, there's probably a lot not involved when they're figuring that out, but hopefully that's something you guys will work through or whatever with the zoning board. And
if I may, what's interesting about it is I actually have a light meter, and I'm as part of my presentation tomorrow, I've kind of gone around to see what are some of the other areas. And even out in your parking lot here, your foot candles are 9-foot candles. Your sidewalks are almost like when you stand under the light, it's 60-foot candles. Because the way the ordinance is written is that any point on the site can't exceed that level. So I understand the intent of it, but I think the application isn't.
it's interesting, and most people can't visualize that. They have no idea, was this too bright or not?
Right.
But like you said, if you come look right here, it's not going to be much more than that, if it is more than that even.
Correct. And it's, and the challenge is, it's that point source. You know, with 5-foot candles is my limit. When I take a measurement under the light, directly under the light, that's of course the brightest spot. But once you start to move out from that, it falls off dramatically. But I have to like adhere to what is that point source. And so that's really the challenge, is it's not an
The
average.
safety goes both ways. So the safety for the people is that the lighting's there when they're working on it. The
Right.
safety for the people off-site, driving and all that, aren't impacted the same way.
Correct.
So that does make some sense. We're not here to talk about that.
Right.
So that's going to be up to them. But I did have a few things, and I didn't know, we have to act as a board and planning commission to approve the EFS, let's say, for the first thing. So if we want to take that up, I did that calculation already, and I got 2.8% when I calculated all this, that's like nothing.
It's nothing. I
It's
agree.
nothing
Very,
compared,
very
and it
insignificant.
makes the building looks phenomenal.
Looks very nice.
And
And-
really, I think it's just, it's at that upper level. I think it's just a transition so that we can get from kind of the brick there to the metal cap.
And all the rest is long span life, like the aluminum and the brick. And I just got to make comment because you're using Belden brick even for the brick and the stone. And I thought, that's kind of cool because we got Belden brick right here in Fraser.
Nice.
So it's kind of nice that you're, using that. So I just had to note that because nobody might have looked at that or saw that in there.
It's a happy coincidence, but I'll take it.
So it was kind of cool to see it. But so I know we have to address that, and as a board, if we want to, do we act on one thing at a time like that? Can we clear that out? If
If you like.
everybody accepts
I'm okay with
that?
the EFS. I'm fine with the percentage of EFS.
How about other
Anybody
members?
who is
Anybody
not-
who's not for it or anything?
Anybody?
That was my question, was on the EFS. And
Go ahead, Commissioner Farina.
that's just for the trim around the top?
Correct.
The transition, is that what it is?
I think it's the blue, the D. It's labeled D.
It's the one between.
Between, okay.
Yeah, so it's,
See right here, yeah.
That's the aluminum trim up
Okay,
there.
yeah, so it's the red. Okay.
yes, the, it was brick, EFS band, and then there's an aluminum metal cap
Okay.
It's a D.
on the parapets.
Yeah, it's blue, it's not red. On your site plan, it says blue, not red.
Yeah.
I
the
just,
site-
the red is just circled to identify it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is,
So it's not all of the blue. It's just in the areas.
It's only on the two sides. It's not even in the front and back.
correct.
Correct statement.
And it's very difficult to see. There's a black line that kind of runs through that blue band. Just the bottom of that is the EFS.
You okay, Commissioner Farina?
Yeah.
Good?
I have
Okay.
a question for Lauren. Lauren, we just approved sheets, okay? Are they staying with our lighting requirements? Have they asked for a variance?
They have not. That's still the plan, is to submit a compliant lighting plan.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant? Oh, let me go through my list here. I think I'm all set. Okay. I will open up the public hearing. So, and I apologize. Are there brushes within the car wash or no brushes?
So it is not a touchless car wash.
It's not a touch.
Soft touch. Yeah, actually, there's a lot of folks, there's a misconception that a touchless car wash is better for your vehicle.
Oh, tell me
harsh.
about it, because that's where I go. So why should I come to your place?
The harsh chemicals actually can do more damage because they have to be so caustic to get the
Dirt.
dirt and debris off, where we can use actual manual friction to do that. And then all of our equipment, actually, if we were ever to do a wash tour, you would see that what we call wraps, those are the vertical pieces that spin, those have sprayers on them just to help keep those clean and help, through, as they move, bring that debris down and out of the equipment. So that
Okay.
we we're not just putting that dirt and soil back on vehicles.
Okay. And can you give me a quote on what your membership is? Does it go monthly, yearly, annually?
Yep, so it's a month-to-month membership. You can cancel at any point. There are various levels.
Okay.
If you just wanted a base wash, I don't want a membership, I'm just coming in, that would start at around $10. And then the memberships start at, I think, $19.99 and then go up to about $39.99.
And you can come in whenever you want.
You can come in multiple times a day, and we have, I will tell you, we have some customers that do that.
Okay, all right. I have no more questions.
Oh, I did have another thing on that, because it said in here about the extra tree in the front. Is that something that you have a problem with?
Nope, no problems, we'll add
We
that.
can meet that?
Absolutely.
So we don't need that as any conditions.
I think we covered it.
I think we got it all.
I think we got the cross-access agreement, loading space. Well, do we agree on a side loading space, I guess?
Do we have some marking you could do or something for loading?
I mean, like I said, I can certainly mark, this area. My only concern with that is I potentially create a traffic conflict because I've got customers who are coming out and they're on this north side.
Oh, yeah.
And they now have to potentially drop down around into oncoming traffic to exit. I can do it. I just think for the frequency of how we're going to get deliveries, I just don't know that a loading dock warrants.
I've got Commissioner Kyle before you, Commissioner Farina. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Well, I was
Kyle.
just gonna, how often do you get these deliveries? Because you said you just get little cardboard boxes, correct?
Carboy, they're called carboys, so they're like
Carboys.
15-gallon plastic containers. Those come once a month.
So it's just one time a month, rather than, okay.
I'm thinking, what about that escape lane? Because you don't even have that in a lot of them I've been to.
So with this escape lane, you can't see it. It's difficult to see here. There is an arm here that blocks it, so vehicles can't come in
that
this
way.
way.
Okay.
It's just a one-way exit.
Okay.
And Commissioner Farina.
How many carboys do you bring in? I know why they're 15 gallons, because 15 gallons is under 50 pounds and you don't need an assist.
Right.
Right.
I can't intelligently answer. I could give you a rough guesstimate. I can't tell you exactly how many. It's
Okay.
probably going to be less than 20.
Okay, well, where do you bring them in the building and where do they get stored in the building?
So this area right here, this room is all of our mechanical room. They're going to come in this double set of doors right down here, and then they're stored within this mechanical space.
So why couldn't he pull up in the driveway there? You designate right outside that door as a loading area?
So-
And bring it in there just like you would?
Yeah, so again, the challenge if I mark it as the loading area is all of my customers, when they exit the wash, they're coming right through here. So I need to make sure that I have enough safe clearance that they can exit and get around a potential vehicle that's going to park there. Again, for the, and that's what I'm saying, I can mark it, I'm just concerned about my traffic that exits here and having to now come down around in this kind of.
Without
Wouldn't you-
marking it, where do you see them unloading the truck?
Yeah, without a marking, they're going to be using that space.
Yeah, so in this area right here, we expand out to 30 feet. So this driveway from the end of the parking stall across here is 24. I come over and I bump up 6 feet. I anticipate that they're probably going to park right around here.
Now, you really think your employees are going to have him park over there and haul all those carboys in?
Well, that's where I said earlier, to some extent, it doesn't matter where you mark it, they're going to park it where it's convenient for them.
Couldn't you take up 3 vacuum spots and park right in front of those?
Yes.
Because then you got the vehicles that come out can still stay to the north. And if you just block 3 vacuum things, how often do you have all the vacuums used? I've never seen it.
Not often. My concern, I'm just trying to think through some things.
Because I'm thinking it's
Like-
something that can be blocked, as
Right.
opposed to parking spots. I wouldn't want to see parking spots blocked. I don't think once a month is a big.
Yeah, but they want to.
No.
I mean, look at 7-Eleven. they pull-
My worry with that is I'm concerned how customers would interpret, a no parking area in front of the stall.
never use it.
Can I, am I allowed to pull in here, or am I not going to because it says? no
Yeah.
parking here?
Even though it's only there for how often?
Once a month for 15 minutes?
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
I don't know what a carboy is.
It's like
A truck?
no,
It's a jug.
it's a 5-gallon,
I will.
I make wine in them.
A
Literally
wine jug. Okay, wine jug, okay. But they come in a truck.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, that's what that is.
They
Okay.
just a bottle,
Okay.
a 15-gallon bottle.
On wheels?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, so they'll.
So you just use a hand
Yeah,
truck?
they'll go on a hand truck.
Yeah.
So they don't have any vending products, they don't sell any bottled Coca-Cola or beverage? Like I said, there's no vending, there's no.
Room freshen, air
there's no-
freshener
there's
and
no gum,
nothing.
There's no potato chips.
Okay.
So literally, they get this delivery once a month.
Yep.
And these carboys.
That's your chemistry delivery. That's once a month. Okay.
That's the chemistry.
Okay, thank you. And you said it comes in what kind of a truck again, then, the chemistry?
A box truck.
Box
A box truck.
Okay. I'm not concerned about the loading space. That's personally. Okay. Okay. I think we've covered the conditions. So any questions?
No more.
And we can talk about that when we deliberate for our motion. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. I lost my agenda.
Here.
Thank you. Okay. I'm going to open up the public hearing for special land use 24-02, 34625 Utica Road. Is there anyone present who would like to speak on the proposed car wash? Seeing nobody coming to the table, I will close the public hearing. Let the record reflect there was no one present to speak. And can we make the motion combined for the site plan or special land use, or should it be separate?
My recommendation would be to separate it, just because obviously we kind of have a weird situation here where we have a permitted use with the car wash and the vacuums are the special approval land use.
Okay, that's true.
So I would, obviously, any conditions that should be related to the vacuums should be part of the special approval land use motion, and anything just involving the site as a whole should be in the site plan. So I would recommend doing them one at a time.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Ms. Erickson. So do the special land use first?
Whichever way that the commission would like to approve it, I don't have any issue with it, but I would prefer that it would be separate motions.
Okay, all right. So I'll entertain a motion on the special land use.
I'll start with the special land use, make a motion on that, because I feel we can approve it, SLU 24-02 for 34625 Utica Road for Mr. Car Wash, for the special land use without any conditions from that, so I'll make that motion.
I'll support it.
Okay, I'm going to have a question. I apologize. So it's the special land use, and I guess I'm going to ask to stipulate the hours for that, because the hours will be stipulated under the special land use, correct? Because we
So-
can't stipulate hours under the site plan.
So the hours, so anything with the special approval land use is going to be, obviously be related to just the vacuums.
Just the vacuums?
Yep.
so Anything else? Okay. I'm going to ask Commissioner Warnick that you can state that we agree, well, here we go again, that we agree on the 8 standards, the special land use standards, but that's not specific because of the lighting, they're going to go for the variance.
But I believe the lighting is part of the site plan, correct?
Yeah, lighting's not in. I went through the whole
Okay,
part here, so I could do that, and that on the condition it meets the 8 standards
okay.
for special land
The
use.
planning commission agrees it meets the 8 standards, okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve the special land use for 34625 Utica Road, Mr. Car Wash, with the statement that the planning commission agrees with age standards for special land use approval. And it's been supported by Commissioner Kyle?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Greenia, would you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Barr?
Yes.
Chair Zardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Farina?
Yep.
Commissioner Kyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuller?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Motion granted. And now we'll go to the site plan. Anybody want to forward a motion for the site plan? Commissioner Teller, ready?
Sure, why not? I would like to make a motion to approve it
With conditions.
with conditions.
All right. Do you need help with the conditions, or do you know what they are?
There's a few of them.
Yes.
The. Let me think.
Commissioner Teller, it's on page 3, some recommendations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If that might help you.
On those, yes,
Yeah.
All the way on the recommendations. Hold on one second.
we will do that.
Beautiful.
First thing you want is that there is a bike rack.
That's right, that's right.
That's the last.
So we get the necessary lot splits and lot combinations, and that they are administratively achieved. A cross-access parking easement agreement in a form satisfactory to the city attorney for use of the parking areas and must be obtained between the applicant and the Meyer property. We need a variance for the lighting to exceed the maximum illumination levels, and it must be obtained, or a compliant photometric plan must be submitted. We do approve the EFS. We need one more tree and a bike rack.
And we agree on the side loading, no loading.
No loading.
We're not
You're
going to do
right,
that.
so yeah,
And
those are the,
then no loading space.
I will support that with those motions, or with those conditions.
okay. It's been moved by Commissioner Tuller and support by Commissioner Warnick. Discussion on the motion, go ahead.
Can I ask the attorney?
I'm sorry, Mr. Farina.
I don't want to end up with another debacle over here, so I'm going to say that I would like to see it say that the cross-access agreement and form satisfactory to the city attorney be completed before any occupancy is allowed of the building.
Prior to C of O, correct?
So just add that in before occupancy.
Okay.
And I'll support that.
Beautiful.
Okay, so it's been,
Is that okay? Is that?
So I do think that that would mean, I mean, I guess my question to you is the intent that it's prior to issuance of a temporary C of O, of a final C of O? I mean, that's not really, that's part of obviously the building department's purview, administration's purview in terms of the authority to grant a temporary C of O. So
It's up to them if they want to grant it, but they won't, you know me. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And it's just ridiculous to be strung along for a year because they play with it and don't get it done. Because there's no string that makes them get it, the leash isn't there.
okay. If the applicant does not care, I don't have any issues with it, Mr. Farina.
Send it.
Yeah, so if we can make it clear that the cross-access parking easement is just for those southern 17 spaces as depicted on the site plan. Does that work for you? Okay.
so my understanding is the one condition is for the access easement for the 17 southern spaces with Meyer and to be completed, and the agreement to be completed prior to C of O?
Let's see, in a form satisfactory to the city attorney, approved prior to the issuance of certificate of occupancy. Does that work, Mr. Farina?
Does that mean only the parking, he can still open the building and not get it done?
No, so
What is the chain that says, stop, you can't go any further?
so if the cross-access easement is not in a form satisfactory to the city attorney's office for those 17 southern spaces, then there would not be able to be a certificate of occupancy issued, is how I interpret the.
For the entire facility?
Correct. There wouldn't be a certificate of occupancy for just the 17 spaces. It would have to be for the youth.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Teller, the maker of the motion, are you okay with that?
It's beautiful. I love it.
And
And I will,
You're okay.
I support it.
Ms. Grenia, do you have enough for your minutes there? Okay.
We are good. We are absolutely good. Thank God for edits.
Would you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Chair Zarnicki,
Yes.
Commissioner Farina,
Yes.
Commissioner Kyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Teller,
Yes.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes.
Okay, site plan approved, you're a go. And I will sign the site plan once I get the minutes and the conditions all set.
Here.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, welcome to the city.
I have one more in my car.
We don't need any more, that's good. Okay, we will go further here. We're going to go to 7C, unfinished business driveway expansion text amendments. Ms. Sierra, do you have something to read to us or report to us?
Yeah, so, thank you, Chair Zarnicki. I included a brief memo, although, again, in talking to the legal team, we kind of want to get your opinion on how these recommended amendments sit with this commission, but then we also want to do some more analysis on the existing conditions of Fraser. And I know Mr. Denault and Ms. Erickson have mentioned looking potentially into the regulatory ordinance as well, and maybe potentially changes would have to occur with that. And then Commissioner Warnock also gave us the proposed impervious surface ordinance for us to look at and research more into. That was never actually fully adopted, but definitely is a good start. So we would like to come back in January at the 13th meeting with more of a finalized draft, with the hope to have a public hearing for a potential amendment in the February meeting and then council adoption in March. If it's all, if the commission's comfortable with where it's at those points.
Any discussion on the memorandum that Ms. Sierra prepared for us this evening?
Do we need to make a motion then, or is that just automatic? We're just,
It's automatic, we're going to continue discussion and return in January.
So what's being brought exactly to us? Just that we're going to figure it out?
We're going to try to figure
Just
it out.
making sure there's nothing, so nothing, we're going to figure it out. Good. Cool.
well, we got a good start with amendment.
Beautiful.
The amendment that Ms. Sarah provided to us is a nice starting point. So if everybody
That's good.
kind of goes with that and works on that.
We're okay? Oh, and they'll leave the door open. Yes, the door should be open. Okay. We have someone in the audience who would like to speak on this. Mr. Bucantis, would you like to come forward and speak? Did you receive a memorandum on a recommend? Come to the, you don't have to, but if you want to speak, I want you to come to the microphone and say your name, please.
Douglas Buchanan, 15767 Kingston Drive. So I didn't receive the memorandum. I had to come to the city and discover that there was one sitting for me. So,
You came to the city for why? I'm sorry.
to see what was the updated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I can hand you this. This is you got it, and I do
got
too.
one. I got that.
You got that, and that's all.
Yeah.
We're just going to review what the recommendation was from our planning consultant. We're going to bring back the item to our January meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
And then to March,
January.
January, then I heard March also after.
I didn't hear March.
Well, the process is we need to hold a public hearing when it's at a point where the planning commission's comfortable with that, for that, and planning commission would make a recommendation. It's similar to the sign ordinance and how that process went. And then it has to move forward with the
So it's-
recommendation to council.
It's a text amendment, so it has to go through the whole process of the text amendment. With the public hearing, planning commission makes a recommendation to city council, and city council will say yay or nay to that proposed zoning amendment.
Okay, so under my permit, under the City of Fraser, it shows that it's now pending where it was disapproved before. So the fees that were paid up front, knowing that it's not approved, then you guys still want the money. Do I take that money back or let it sit till January to March? Well, since they're
I
pending.
cannot answer that, and can anybody at this podium answer that question at all?
I'm not sure what he's asking.
I think he has
When-
money.
When the contractor comes to the city and says, hey, here's our idea, you say, okay, pay the fees, they pay the fees for the permit, and then find out that, hey, it's denied. So now you guys get that money, but some of it's refunded, I found out. So do I let that money sit there until you guys decide it's okay to people that want to do it the right way? Or should I just come back and get the money and just wait for?
I don't process the permits, so I apologize.
Don't believe we do escrows for permits.
If there was a
there's
bond on it, it would have been a bond. If they gave you, did they require a bond?
No, it's just, it's paying the permit, you know, the fee.
It's a review fee.
And you've
though.
already
It's not a
paid it.
fee to get a
Well,
permit.
the contractor did through
The contractor
my
paid
deposit.
that,
back
so
in.
money is sitting here at the city for your permit.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know why they would take the money if they already know that it's not allowed, you know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Either, Mr. Picantis.
Yeah.
I'm going to
That never
ask,
happened to anyone else before.
I'm going to ask that you come to City Hall and talk to the building director and ask for a clarification on that. I cannot answer that
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
fine, yeah.
Okay, yes. So Mr. Logan should be able to answer that question for you.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We'll see you maybe in January. Okay, and the January meeting is January
13th.
13. January 13. Okay, thank you. Going next to is agenda item 8 is a public communication on non-agenda items, and there are none. And agenda item 9, monthly report, November 2024. Ms. Sierra, do you have any comments here?
Is this the November report or just the October report?
This is November.
November.
So I'm going to ask about my favorite project.
So there was another meeting with city administration the week of Thanksgiving.
So there was a November meeting.
I'm sorry?
There was a November meeting.
There was a November meeting, yes, with the big boy stakeholders. The storm sewer easement was provided. It was reviewed by the engineer. There are some little changes to be made regarding the legal descriptions, just to make sure that everything is accurate. But from a legal perspective, that is really the only thing that needs to be modified. And everything else
is closed out.
Everything else just needs to be executed by city administration and recorded. From a legal standpoint, yep.
That'll only take another year.
Positive thinking, Commissioner Farina. Any other questions on the report? I don't think I had anything. Any discussion? Okay, all right, we'll go to agenda item 10, zoning board of appeals member liaison report.
I got to pull it up.
Okay.
Give me a second. We had a public hearing on ZBA Action 24-06, a use variance for multiplex development. And that was approved, to approve it, and he was given a use variance for zoning standards to allow the applicant to develop the site as a condominium. And this is on, I'm sorry, it's on Utica Road. It's the thin strip between, just above the current condominiums that are there. It goes deep back into the lot. It's a long, thin strip, and the reason is because of the location and the size and geometry.
Is that the one next to Fraser Villa?
No, it's
Sanctuary?
above the,
Just above it, though?
right, there's a, yes, there's a.
A house there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and additionally, we recommended that Joe Chimenti and Roseanne Menendez stay on with the board to the city council. It did not make the agenda. Does anybody know if it's going to make this month?
Yes, it will be on the December agenda.
Okay. And that was about it. Tomorrow, we're going to talk with Mr. About a variance, so, and you know what that variance is.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Commissioner Farina. Commissioners' comments on items of interest, concerns? Commissioner Bard, do you have any comments?
I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. It's going to be coming up soon.
Yes, certainly
And I
is.
want to say how beautiful the lighting is around the city hall this year.
I
More
agree.
than ever. I've never seen it this much.
I agree. Commissioner Warnick?
Nothing, the same thing. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and look forward to the next holiday here at Christmas and maybe a little bit of relaxation time.
Commissioner Kyle?
Nothing at this time.
Commissioner Farina?
I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, or Hanukkah, whatever you do. Be kind to each other and have a great time. Santa is watching.
Yes, yes. He and she is, yes. Commissioner Teller?
Again, go Lions. That's what I got.
I'll be there tomorrow night.
Oh, you lucky guy. Enjoy.
Oh, you haven't invited us.
Yeah.
I only have 2 seats. You try to tell my wife to stay home. You know, we've been going since 2008 through all them losing seasons.
Man, then you deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Ms. Sarah, you have any comments?
None at this time, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Erickson?
Not at this time.
Ms. Greenia?
It's wonderful to see you folks. You know, I
Is-
don't like getting home late, but I do miss coming to these and seeing everybody. So,
We
great to see you all, and I hope you have wonderful and blessed holidays.
It's nice to see you, too. Commissioner Teller, great on that motion.
Thanks. That was a lot.
I know.
That's a good one, though.
I kind of stuck you with a hard one. but
I
it's okay.
appreciate it. I appreciate you.
I just want to thank the administration for following up on the identification badges, and I hope everybody followed through who needed a badge. And do we have?
Get it?
I don't know if anybody did. I didn't.
did.
check with anybody.
I didn't hear anything about that, so I
There
missed
was an
that.
email sent out. So it's the police department. We'll follow through. We'll help.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we'll help you out.
This is still good, right?
I don't,
Say that again.
Yeah, do we have to have new ones?
Oh,
did I need to do anything, or am I just
You're
getting?
gonna have to come in and get your picture taken.
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So look pretty, would you please?
I always do.
It might end up on a wall for something else. but-
Oh, gosh. Do we have a date for the steering committee for the zoning ordinance rewrite at all?
We do not. It'll be one of those 2 dates in January. I'll send an email later this
Okay.
week
Okay.
finalizing that.
Any update on the zoning ordinance surveys?
It's definitely tapered off, so there's about 60 responses now. We'll try to do another push on social media to get some more responses, but
6-0?
6-0, yeah, correct.
Is that a good response?
It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. We've had communities where we've had 6.
Where do they see it,
so.
that they can, is it on?
We've posted it on Facebook. We've posted it on flyers around the senior center and around here, and then it also has been on the tax bill for the past couple months.
Oh, the tax bill, because it wasn't.
Or the
one
water
right-
bill, sorry, the water bill.
Tax bill. Okay.
Water. I apologize, water.
Did everybody hear? You don't have to answer, but I did my survey, so I hope everybody here did do their
did the
survey.
survey,
Okay. That's it. Have a happy holiday season, so, meeting's adjourned.
Oh, gotta make a motion.
Don't we gotta make a motion?
Do we have to make a motion? No, we don't do it in Troy, so I apologize. So, yes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Kyle and support by Commissioner Farina to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Meeting adjourned, 8:21 PM.
So you still